Hi Rupa, how are you doing? I'm doing good too. Just waiting for people to join in. In a couple of minutes, I'll have to go and take out my clothes from washing machine and put it into dryer. So I will. So I'll do that quickly. How's the weekend going? Race day today or tomorrow? No, it's not. Next week is a race weekend, but yeah, last couple of weeks it was quite silent from Formula One because they had this mid-season break or summer break they call it. So yeah, um, it's quite silent for now. About weekend, yeah, it starts quite early. We play some games on Twitch on Fridays evening. So yeah, we start our weekend a bit early. Yeah, right. Um, Especially Genshin. Fontaine is looking so exciting. It's very new, very refreshing. So we have been playing Genshin for like what 2 3 years now, and I think now they have introduced a new. I mean, every time a new reason comes, it's always quite exciting. But they have added some new mechanics like you can go underwater and things like that, which is always fun. And some really cool new characters are also coming. So for them also you need to farm. And I have so many quests pending, so I'm trying to finish those quests so that we can move forward. But I think with the Fontaine, we don't really have to do all the previous quests. You can just skip to that. I think you only told that. Yeah. Okay, so I'll quickly go and take out my clothes from washing machine and put it into dryer. If someone joins, do let them know. I'll be back in like 2 3 minutes. Just give me 2 3 minutes. Seems like we don't have anyone. But yeah, I'm back on time, I guess. It was quick indeed. I ran downstairs and I took out my clothes from the washing machine and put it in the dryer, and then I ran back up. Took 2 minutes, I guess, maybe three. I'm doing good, Saurabh. How are you? Sometimes I feel like learning data science become so much information. Always you have to keep up to date. Then TCS employee how to reduce that stress. Sometimes I feel heavy. I totally get it. It is what it is because every day you get something new and it's really hard to keep up with everything. So what I would suggest is, if you are working in a data science field, if you are already working as a data analyst or data scientist, try to learn things which are most relevant to your job and stay up to date into that. But if you don't like what you're doing, then you can probably try to explore something else. So that is a bit easy for someone who is already working as a data scientist or data analyst. But if you are someone who wants to get into data science, for you, what you need to decide first is that what you actually like doing. Do you like computer vision? Do you like natural language processing? Do you like uh, traditional machine learning? It could be anything. And once you have made your mind, you can start to dig deeper into that, and also you can keep yourself up to date into that particular field. The other thing is that once you have your foundation strong, so let's say you know traditional machine learning, how it works, you know traditional deep learning, how it works. Because ultimately, if you know, if we simply talk about deep learning, so if you just know about convolutional neural network or CNN in short, if you know how LSTM worked, if you know how transformers work, all the other things which are coming into the market, they are all built on top of that. So once you know the foundation, once you know the building blocks, it would be really easy for you to pick up those new advancements. So that's why what I'm trying to do is I have created the Discord server, and there you will find a tech section, so TECH. Under that, there are few sections like data science notes, research paper. So whatever relevant things I find, I always put the links into that particular section, so that people can stay up to date, and if they like, they can read. So recently I have pasted I have shared a research paper link where they are trying to introduce or merge stable diffusion with transformers. So that is something which could be really good in the future. So that is one way. Probably you can join Discord server and find those links, and you can read those papers in your spare time. And if you come across any kind of article or any kind of posts, you can share that with other people as well. Even if you have not read it, you can share it in the community. Maybe someone will read it, and then they can probably uh, help you understand those things. You can ask those follow-up questions. Currently the community is quite small on Discord. We have like what, 40 people, around 40 people, yeah. But on Telegram we have like 600 people. So The community is still growing, but I think you may be able to join. So those are the few things which I can suggest. But if you have any very specific problem which you are facing, do let me know in the chat. I'll be more than happy to help you with that. So Sushant, I applied to several universities on my own, and to some of the universities I applied through consultancies. And what I found was that wherever I applied on my own, I was able to get admission or admit quite sooner as compared to universities where I applied using consultancies. So ultimately, I decided to just move on with uh, the applications where I applied myself. So yeah, I'm also doing good. That's good to know. Studying through applied AI videos, confused whether to go for masters next year or next to next year. If you have already taken applied AI course, what I would suggest is try to do some projects. There are a lot of good projects in applied AI, so try to do those and just don't limit yourself to those assignments. Once you have trained those models, try to create a simple Streamlit app or something like that, and try to host those machine learning algorithms and try to create an application. And from that, you can create a portfolio, and from that, I would suggest try to find a job as a data scientist, machine learning engineer, data analyst. It could be anything. If you are able to find something, that is going to be the best case scenario, because right now abroad the situation is not looking good. The job market is really bad everywhere. So you will be taking a risk, but if you think that it is really very competitive in India, it's getting next to impossible to find something, then you may try to do masters this year. But if I have to suggest something, I would suggest uh, gain some experience and then do masters. Our career services in UK university is really helpful. They do help you in terms of resume building, profile building, and sometimes they can also help you with interview preparation if they are aware of the technical skills which may be required. So yeah, they are actually quite helpful. And all the universities, they have their career service page where they post all the openings and internships, so you can register for that newsletter and you can receive it weekly or even daily if you like. So yeah, it is actually quite helpful. Hi Roshan. Hi Monica. Tips or guidance for students who are doing masters in data science and guidance to get jobs as freshers in the UK. So there are a couple of things. I actually have a video. Let me quickly find that video and share it with you, so that will give you a bit of idea about what else you can do. But I will quickly tell you some of the tips as well. So this is the link to the video. What you can do is, so it all starts with your resume and profile building. So that is something which you need to do. Apart from that, how to apply for jobs and things like that. Obviously, LinkedIn is one of the most popular platforms, and then there are some other websites like mm, Read, REED, and yeah, CV Library, Total Jobs, Target Jobs, Indeed, Monster. So there are those websites, you can apply on those websites. So that is the most common way how most of the people apply for jobs. The next way is to go to meetups, and I talk about this in almost all the live streams. So uh, people who are very uh, people who join my live stream often, they will know that. So you need to go to meetups, try to make good connections there. And by good connection, I don't mean that we just talk to them once or twice and start sending your resumes to them. Try to understand what they do, how they do, and try to validate their work. And by validation, what I mean is tell them they are doing quite good, and try to ask them how you can use those skills in your learning path, and uh, how they have reached that how they have reached that position, right? Because when you ask these type of questions, people actually feel like you're giving them importance, and once they start to feel that way, they are willing to help you. So that way you can make some good connections. That is one thing. The other one is, and to find meetups, you can register on meetups.com and Eventbrite. So those are some of the platforms, and you can uh, that I'm looking for that chat. It just vanished. Yeah. So so you can register on Eventbrite and meetups.com. So those are the two websites which I know, and you can find any meetup group in your close proximity, and then you can go and attend physically. You can go to job fairs. That is one other way. Again, I don't feel like job fairs are the most effective ways, but it is what it is. But it is one of the ways, so you can still try. It's always worth trying. It's not going to cost you anything. The other thing is participate in hackathons, because when you participate in hackathons and when you do really good, there are a lot of hiring managers or employers. They do look for some talents there, so you may well be able to find something from there. So those are the few things which I can suggest. Other thing is, when you are trying to find a job as a fresher, obviously you will not have any experience. So to show that you have a working experience, you need to build a portfolio. And by portfolio, I don't mean just well, it would have worked few years back, but now you have all the tools like Streamlit and things like that, where you can create working applications, and then you will be able to uh, then you will be able to create a very good portfolio, and that's how you can attract a lot of hiring managers. I think in India, getting data science job seems harder than government jobs. I totally agree, because I was a few days back. I was trying to look into Indian job market, and I was trying to see how many people are applying for a particular role, and there were thousands of people applying for that one particular role. So, but then the number of jobs are always there, but again, the competition is way too high. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Sagar. Recently completed my CSC degree and started working as a front-end developer in company in Bangalore. Will it help for future jobs as masters in data science? It will certainly help you, Sushant, is because when you get into data science, a lot of data scientists, they can do data analysis in their Jupyter notebook and things like that, but they find it really hard to make an application out of it. And if you know front end development, you will be able to do that quite easily. So I would say it is going to help you quite a lot. I'm doing good, Bhagya. How are you? Laptops and phones should be brought from India or purchased in UK. Um, it's totally up to you. I would suggest getting it in the UK, not because it's cheaper or anything, but because of the adapter that you get. If you buy a phone and laptop from India, then you will have to buy an additional adapter, and wherever you go, you need to carry that adapter because the port is different. So that's why I would suggest getting it here. Price is almost same. Watching videos, you will not get any idea. You have to make your hand dirty with the coding project. I agree with your point, Sagar, but uh, the videos are actually quite helpful. So if you want to understand a particular concept, those videos are actually really good. And to understand the concept, yes, you should watch the video. But if you don't have assignments and projects, then you will have to do projects because, like Sagar told, you have to get your hands dirty, and without doing any project, you won't be able to get any um, practical knowledge. On which visa are you on currently? So I'm currently on post-study work visa, but hopefully soon I will be moving to uh, tier 2 visa. Sorry, YouTube didn't allow me to paste the links in the chat last time. Yeah. So what happens is, if you are posting any link in the chat, then YouTube thinks it as a spam, and it does not show. I mean, you can see the link has been posted in the chat, but actually it is not public. So that's the thing. So if you want to share any kind of link or anything, you can either send it on me or send it to me on Discord or Telegram. I'll be happy to paste it in the chat. So yeah. What all we need to learn prior to our masters in data science to cope up there in well advanced. Okay, so I already have a video, Ambika. I will share the link with you. So there I have talked about all the skills you should learn beforehand. By the way, those are not mandatory to learn, but if you are able to cover those things, it is only going to help you and it will make your life much more easier. There you go. After watching that video, if you feel like you still have any questions, feel free to post it in the chat. Do you sometimes feel you should have gone to US, Canada, Australia, some other country, or it was good decision? Not to the countries which you mentioned. I never wanted to go to US. Canada could have been an option, but I think when comparing Canada to UK, I would prefer to be in the UK. Same is the case with Australia. I never wanted to go to Australia. One thing that I do think is, if I had been to any European countries, it would have been a bit better, I guess. Apart from that, right now I don't think I wanted to go to US, Canada, or Australia. Well, Ireland was one of my options, and I chose UK and Ireland mainly because the course was for 1 year and I wanted to finish masters quickly because I had learned quite a lot of things about data science beforehand. So for me, it didn't make much sense to do 2 years of masters. So yeah, that was the main reason. And when I looked into the course, I felt like UK universities had better course structure. They had much more practical concepts on the way they were teaching and the way they were assessing. It was much more practical as compared to Ireland. Having said that, it's not like the course is not good in Ireland. Uh, it's really good. It's just a personal preference. Were Python's DSA questions asked to you in your job interview? Are DSA questions asked generally in data science interviews? So, what I have seen is when you're applying for any junior roles or graduate roles, there they will ask you DSA, but when you're applying for some of the senior roles, there they won't. So, yes, I have people did ask me Python DSA questions, and they also sent hacker rank assessment link where I had to solve those problems. So yeah, they did ask. In our company, product managers they are looking for electronics engineers. So if you are from electronics engineering background and if you still want to be in that particular domain, or if any one of your friends they are looking for jobs in that particular domain, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to refer them. I'll post my email address in the chat. So if you know someone, just let me know in the chat. Would it be difficult to bag a job after completing the business analyst course without a work experience in relevant field in the UK? I think so because as a business analyst, you interact quite a lot with your stakeholders. You do it on daily basis, and in a company, they would want someone with some experience to handle that role because you are taking requirements from your clients and then formulating it and then passing it to your technical team. And if there's something which goes wrong, it could mess up the whole project. And I think Rupa will be able to tell you here how important that role is and why do you need some experience in that, because she does that on a daily basis. She is a business analyst. So yeah, that's why I think it is a bit harder for freshers to get business analyst roles. But there are many roles like junior business analyst and graduate business analyst roles. I think they are actually designed for freshers so that you can get into that role from the start. So you should be able to find that. But those roles are quite less. Having said that, it's not like you can't apply for those roles. And also, when I was looking at job description, they do ask experience of like 2 to 3 years. Uh, but it's not like you can't apply to those roles if you can somehow prove that yes, you have the capabilities. And I think in business analyst role, your technical skills are important, of course, but then your communication skills are even important. So yeah, if you're able to convince them somehow, you will be able to find a job. I'm working as data analyst in India on PostgreSQL and Printout as ETL tools. Which technologies I should focus on learning now, keeping in mind future job? I would say those traditional databases, yeah, they are good. And now that you're using those tools, you must be really good with your SQL skills. I would assume that. I would say you can learn Snowflake because it is one of the most popular data warehouses which a lot of companies like to use now these days. So that is going to help you quite a lot. And with intervention of AI, I mean, there are a lot of roles. They say that they want data analyst or data scientist or just a generative AI engineer. So if you are someone who knows how to use generative AI, you know how to do prompt engineering, things like that, there is a completely separate job market for that now. So if you can learn those things, it would be really good. But to learn those things, I think you need to understand how large language models work, how transformer works, because that's the building block of those things. So you need to learn those concepts if you really want to get into data science roles. But if you want to stay in data analyst roles, in that case, I think it would be nice to learn Microsoft Fabric. I'm not sure if you're aware of it. Microsoft recently released this Fabric where they have put everything together. So visualization tools like Power BI, uh, and obviously their Azure cloud platform from where you can leverage quite a lot of AI tools. So they have put everything in one place. You can do your Python development in that particular environment. So if you are able to somehow learn about Microsoft Fabric, I think that way uh, you will be able to show that you have a full package, and you can create application from data collection to data cleaning and then data visualization using Power BI. Is 7.6 CGPA good for getting into good rank university with scholarship? Yes, it is good. But again, it depends on what kind of competition you're facing. So if people are there with 8 CGPA or more, in that case, it's not good. But if there are people with less CGPA, then obviously it is good. So it's a very uh, relative term, but in general, I would say yes, it is fine. But only CGPA is not the more only CGPA is not the factor which they consider. There are a lot of things. They will see what your background is. Do you have any kind of experience? If you have some experience, it is going to play quite an important factor there, and then you will be able to find a scholarship as well. So there are other things as well you need to consider. If there are any openings in data analyst or related to computer science, please let me know. Yeah, sure, I will let you know. Uh, Currently, we don't have any opening. I mean, there is one as a product data analyst, which is in Slough. Well, it was few weeks back. I'm not sure whether it is still there, but yes, there was one, and we usually get these kind of roles every now and then. So if I come across any role, I will certainly let you know. Topics like linked list, tag queue, graph tree, etc. are also required to crack interviews. I won't say so. You don't need to get into those complex data structures. Bro, why don't you reply on LinkedIn? Oh, mate, it has become so hard to keep up with all the messages. And now I'm not only receiving messages from the subscribers, I'm also receiving emails from a lot of companies. They're just trying to sell their product. So it is really hard to figure out which one to reply and which one to not. And in that, lot of messages that they just go down. And that is the only reason why I'm doing these live Q&As. And I try to answer questions in Discord server and also on Telegram channel, so that I'm able to answer a lot of questions. And also the problem with LinkedIn is that there are so many questions which are very same to each other, and but then there is very small details that I need to change. So I have to ultimately write those answers again and again. And if you ask these questions in the comments, and in comments also I'm quite active. So when you ask these questions in comments or Discord server or in a Telegram channel, I prefer to answer there, is because a lot of people will be able to see it, and if they have similar questions, it is answered there. So with just one answer, I'm able to help a lot of people. So that's why it has become really hard for me to reply on LinkedIn, because I'm handling a lot of other platforms as well. And on top of that, I have a full-time job, so it's really hard to take out time from that and put it on LinkedIn and try to answer those questions. If there is any quick answer to a question, like for example, mm, things I should bring to UK, or how is this one university? If people ask about like one university, I'm able to answer that. But then I've got some questions where people ask questions like they list down like five, six universities, and then it is really hard for me to just go to all the universities and see the course content, and then it becomes really hard for me to answer those questions. So I prefer to just ignore those questions. But if you have any question uh, related to university, you can ask it here. But if you think you still have any personal question which you like to get answered, for that there is this channel membership, where you can take channel membership and we can have one-to-one conversation there. So yeah, there are a lot of different ways. But yeah, if you think the answer is quite short, drop me a message on LinkedIn. If it comes up, I will, and also let me know your the actual name which is there on LinkedIn, so that I can go there and reply to your message. Uh, there are limited options for Jan intake in the UK between Coventry and Strathclyde, which would be better for business analytics course. Again, I need to look into the course content, because I know about data science course in Coventry University, which is good. I don't know how's the business analytics course, so I'll have to look into it. Bro, you're looking really cool. I have taken haircut recently, so maybe that's the reason. So yeah, thanks. Is it difficult to get and manage part time along with the masters? Depends. If you are very new to data science, you may struggle. But if you're really good with your programming skills, I think you should be fine. And also your mathematical skills. If you know those things, those building blocks, you should be fine. But if you struggle with those, then you may have to invest some more time in that, and then you will not be able to manage the um, part-time job that you are going to be doing. So yeah, it depends a lot. You're welcome, Bhagya. Structured is better. Yeah, so as Sushant said, I think Structured is better in terms of course content. Today in live Q&A, I wanted to do Russell Group University tier list live here, but the setup did not work. I was facing a lot of technical challenges, so it's just that. But I will just try to record it separately. I will post the video soon, hopefully. How do you feel about life in the UK as compared to India? That's a really good question, because obviously the standard of living is probably a bit better, but the kind of money that you pay here, if you pay the same amount of money in India, you will be able to get a similar standard of living. So that's there. The good thing about India is that things are very flexible. So if you want to get uh, let's say medical attention or something like that, you can just go into a hospital and you can get treated. Here you need to book an appointment, and sometimes it can take quite a lot of time, but the quality of the treatment that you get here even from the government hospitals, they are really good. So that's positive. Transportation, even if you want to go to some of the remote locations in India, you will be able to find public transport. Here it is kind of difficult. If you are living on in the outskirts of a city, you should be fine to go to city center. But if you want to go to some place to visit and it is a bit far from any of the cities, then you will find it really hard to get a public transport to go to that particular location. So in that case, again, I think India is a bit better. And of course, food. uh, here the food is kind of bland and also lot less vegetarian option. And if you are a non-vegetarian, then it's totally fine for you. But I am a vegetarian, so for me the options are quite less. So yeah, those are the few things. There could be other things, but if you have anything specific which you would like to ask, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to share my thoughts on that. How is the reputation of University of Bath? It's non-Russell Group. Does that matter? Actually, University of Bath is not a Russell Group university, but still, it is one of the most reputed universities. And I think by choice they did not choose to join Russell Group. I'm not sure what was the reason, but I think by choice they are not part of Russell Group. But yeah, if you would like to go to University of Russell, it is a really good one. Chandrayaan 3 is about to reach moon, so I'm quite excited about it. What do you guys think? And also Russia launched their Luna 25, which is way faster than our Chandrayaan 3, but I think India has very limited budget and we do not spend as much money as Russia do. So in that case, I think it's really good. And I think it takes quite a lot to do all those calculations. And because what India does is uh, they revolve around Earth, and then they use Earth's gravity to to be in the trajectory, and then they push it into the moon's orbit. Whereas Luna 25, it's a much more powerful carrier, and it can just directly shoot up into the moon's orbit. So I think it takes for a lot of calculations and brain power to be able to do that, and I think that's phenomenal. So if India is able to do that thing in such a limited budget, I think that would be a huge success. Yeah, Shubham, if we land successfully this time, it will be a huge success. I mean, is it worth it going to UK, studying there, and making a career, even if it's short term, or we can do that in India as well, as especially in field of data? It's an emerging field. Yeah, I totally agree. If only money is your priority, then I think it's better to stay in India, because uh, if you work for a startup or some good product based company, the salary is really good in India. But if you want to gain some international experience, and if you want to experience something different, if you want to experience some different culture, it need not be in the UK. You can go anywhere, any kind of culture which you like. And if you want to grow personally, I think yes, it is worth it. But if only money is your top priority, in that case I think it's not worth it. क्या मैं ऐसा समझूं भैया कि नेक्स्ट ईयर, नेक्स्ट टू नेक्स्ट ईयर इज़ नॉट द गुड टाइम टू गो फॉर मास्टर्स इन द यूके और एनी अदर कंट्री, उसकी जगह इंडिया में रह के ही अपस्किल करूँ? Yeah, I would say so, because when you are in India, even if you spend, let's say, lakhs on a course, which I won't suggest doing that because there are a lot of affordable courses, you will still be spending quite less money as compared to when you do masters. And if things won't work out uh, while doing masters, then you will be in a huge debt, and then after going to India, it will be hard to pay back that debt. So, and also the market is not looking that great, so it would be better to stay in India and upskill yourself and try to find something good. But again, like I told you, it depends what kind of financial capacity you have. If you are able to handle those financial burdens, in that case I would say yes, it is worth it, because I also made a video on on my travel channel, that if you take education loan of, let's say, 20 lakh, 25 lakh or something like that, and when you work on minimum wage, you will be able to pay back most of your education loan, and only a small chunk of loan will be pending, which you can always pay back once you go back to India. But then that's not the reason why you took education loan, right? You wanted to get into data science, and then if you are not able to get into data science and you will work part time for 2 years, you'll have that huge gap in your career, which does not look good. So yeah, there are a lot of risks, but it depends on person's capacity to take risks. So if you have the capacity, if you have the appetite, yes, you can go for masters, and there are a lot of people coming for masters. But if you think uh, it's better to be safe for now and upskill yourself in India and then find a job, I think that is going to be much better, because then you will be able to gain some experience in India, let's say 2 to 3 years, and then when the job market is good abroad, then you can go for masters, and then you will be able to find job quite easily. Hi, how much time will it take me to pay off my loan after completing MS in UK, say if I take 15 lakh loan. Uh, so I have this dedicated video which I was talking about just now. Let me quickly find that video and share it with you. So that will give you a good idea about mm how much time it will take, because I have done some sort of calculation there. There you go. Sorry. But if we still try to do the calculation, we'll do it. So let's say minimum wage is 10 pounds per hour, and after your masters you can work for 40 hours per week. So we multiply it with 40, and then you work for 1 year, which is 52 weeks. And then if we multiply it with 2, which is 2 years, you will earn 41,600 pounds. And even if you spend like 50% of your salary, which will be around 20,000 pounds, you will still be able to pay back your 15,000 pound uh, 15,000 pound loan. So this is the worst case scenario. Well, to make calculation quite easy, I have not factored in a lot of other external influences, but yeah, you should be able to pay back. And Saurabh, coming back to your question, I'm only telling you things from my perspective, what I'm seeing here, because there are a lot of people who are freshers and they're finding it really hard to find a job. So that's why, but then there are freshers who have been able to find a job. So I'm telling you the worst case scenario, and there are a lot more people who are struggling to find a job, especially Indians, because they need visa. So that's why I'm telling you it's safe to be in India and try to find a job there and gain some experience. But at the end of the day, the decision should be yours, because you should not regret after 2 to 3 years that I should have done masters, and probably I would have been in some other uh, scenario or in some other situation now. So make your mind, and the final decision should be yours. So yeah, that's what I would like to add on to the point which I mentioned before. We are almost about to reach the end of the live stream. So if you guys have uh, some last questions, feel free to ask. I'll be here for another 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll call it a day. And I will let you guys enjoy your weekend. You're welcome. Bakwas karni hai. That's a nice name. Just curious, what kind of bakwas do you like to do? Because among my friends, They like to talk about any random stuff. I'm a data analyst now, but only working on Power BI and SQL. Wanted to do ML, but since I have BSc, many companies reject me, and I feel sad. Don't worry about it. You are a data analyst. I would say stick to your role because Power BI, SQL, they are in demand, and so the thing is, in my current role, I have a role as data analyst, but I'm doing all sorts of things. I'm doing I'm creating dashboard using Power BI. I use SQL on daily basis. I do Python development, and by Python development I mean I use Flask and I sometimes use Streamlit. I do quite a lot of machine learning tasks like predicting things here and there. I use large language models to do some kind of summarization. So I do quite a lot of things, even though my job role is just data analyst. So if in your current role you are just limited to Power BI and SQL, try to reach to a level where you can say that I know everything in Power BI. It's really hard to say that, but I know majority of the things in Power BI, and I know SQL to the best of my limits, I would say. And in parallel, try to learn machine learning and deep learning, and over the weekends try to do projects, and try to host it using Streamlit app. I think uh, that way you will be able to create a profile where you know that you have machine learning knowledge, you have done some machine learning projects, and you will have something to show to hiring managers. And yes, in initial days having a BSc degree may be a hurdle, but once you have some experience, like 2 3 years of experience, it will not be a hurdle. And the only thing which will count is going to be your experience. So yeah, that is what I would suggest. And yeah, a lot of people, they do talk about all the fancy stuff they are doing here and there because they like to show the shinier side of their life, because that's what social media is all about. But the kind of channel that I have, where people's career are at line, so I don't want to do that. I prefer to talk truth. If something's good, I will talk about that. If something's bad, I will talk about that as well. So yeah, that's what I believe in. Anything that could be called bakwas amongst my friends makes sense. Yeah. All right, everyone. I hope you found this live Q&A helpful. I will see you guys next week, next Saturday. But if you want to join us on Twitch, probably tomorrow, you can come there and probably hang around. But I think a lot of you are not there on Twitch, so you guys don't prefer to come on Twitch, which is totally fine. But I will still post the link in the chat, and if you choose to, you can you can join tomorrow us you can join us tomorrow on Twitch, and this is the link. One last question: we are getting very less placement in college. What to do? I failed in a GD into company. So if you are not able to clear group discussions, I think uh, I'll get back to your question, Ravula. Let me post that thing, that app, Streamlit. Yeah. So Streamlit is a framework where you don't have to write the front end code. You just use pre-built modules, and then you will be able to create a beautiful front end, and you can host your machine learning or data visualization application quite easily. All right. So coming to your question, Ravula, You're finding it really hard to clear group discussion round. Less people, 4, 5 are okay. So if you're not able to clear the group discussion, I'm not sure how the group discussion is going. Is it like people jumping over each other, or everyone gets the chance to speak? If everyone is getting chance to speak, I would say maybe you'll have to improve your speaking skills. But if people are jumping over each other, then I think that is the issue, how the group discussion is being done. So that's there. The other thing is you could try for off campus placement. So you can apply to a lot of companies and you can find them on LinkedIn and try to apply there, because there you won't, I mean, their competition will be even higher. Is it good to, yeah, if you are finding it like utterly impossible to find a job, then yes, you could go for masters. And like I said, if you have the appetite to take the risk, yeah, sure, you can explore this route. Saurav, if you shared some link or something, we have not received it. So if you want me to share that link in the chat, please put it in the um, either in the Discord server or in the Telegram group, so that I can take the link and I'll put it in the chat, because there is no link in the chat. And apart from me, I don't think anyone else can post a link in the chat. It's just a YouTube thing to avoid any kind of spam. For those who want to learn, I am still learning. Roshan Bhaiya suggestion will help us a lot. Yeah, I think, like I said, Telegram and Discord server, they're good place to build a community, and also they're really good place where you can go and look for people who are doing similar kind of things, and then you can do some kind of collaborative work, or if you want to do collaborative learning, you can do. And if you need any kind of help, I'm there to help you. I can probably create a GitHub repo where you all can push your work and you can collaborate if you want. So I'll be more than happy to assist you in that way. You're welcome, Ravula. For GD, I suggest be the first to start discussion, verify method. Yeah, I totally agree with that, because after that, people just start to jump over each other. And also, the skill for group discussion, one of the very important skills is bring back the crowd to the topic, because sometimes people just deviate from the topic. And also how to manage them. If you are able to manage them, even if the whole GD goes into a chaos, you will still stand out, because you were able to control the crowd somewhat. Because when you are at a same level, because when you are doing a group discussion with your batch mates, they don't usually respect they usually don't respect you. So it's really hard to control those things. But if you are able to do that, you will still stand out quite a lot. University of Greenwich or University of I have got the link, so let me quickly share that link. So Saurabh has shared the link. Yep, got it. So this is the Streamlit app which Saurabh has created. I have not opened it yet. I have not seen it, so I don't know how is it, but I think it will be a good inspiration, and it could be a good starting point for you if you want to learn Streamlit. Coming back to Priyanshu's question, University of Greenwich or University of Westminster, which one to go for? I think I included both the universities in affordable list of universities for data science. I don't exactly remember which one I picked in that video, but I think Greenwich has a better course content, and the way they evaluate your coursework. So I think University of Greenwich would be my pick. Okay, everyone, we are almost 9 minutes over the scheduled time, but it's all right. I hope I was able to answer your questions and you were able to get what you wanted. And yeah, I will see you guys uh, probably tomorrow on Twitch. If not, then uh, Sunday next week. Sorry, Saturday next week. Bye, everyone. Have a great weekend. Happy learning.